Right, welcome to Yin Yoga, and let's start into a wide seated cross-legged position today. You might like to sit on a block or a bolster or a blanket. Elevate the pelvis, tilt the pelvis forward, finding that good posture. And once you really feel comfortable, lean back and change the cross of the legs to your non-habitual cross. So as much as possible, when you sit cross-legged, whenever you remember to reverse the cross, this is going to help your hips even out over time. Often when we sit cross-legged the same direction each time, the pelvis starts to get askew. Palms face up, elbows relax beside the ribs. Let the shoulders come back and broaden out. Let your attention come inwards and notice the ambience of your space, particularly in this hot weather, just noticing if it feels comfortable or not. Slow the breathing down and bring your thumb from the right hand and gently cover the right nostril. Just take the tip of the thumb, cover the right nostril. Avoid pinching the nostril so that you're only breathing in and out of the left nostril unless the left nostril is totally occluded. And in the yogic anatomy, this is considered the cooling nostril, the nostril that cools you down. So just use this Luna Nadi, this left nostril, for another 10 breaths. Slow, gentle breath. Allowing yourself to arrive on your mat tonight. And on that 10th breath, just allow the breathing technique to fall away. Letting yourself breathe through both nostrils. And noticing how the right nostril feels when it takes those first few breaths. And then come forward, grab your blanket and create a little burrito fold here. We're going to replace the blanket for the block and straddle the legs into a wide V shape. And allow I'll sit sideways a little more so you can see it. allow your pelvis to tilt forward so that the wide V shape is a little more comfortable. Now I've got a bolster here I'm going to use for my head. So supporting the head with a bolster, or if you don't have a bolster, you can even grab a couple of blocks like this. Try and find the head height so that you feel the impact on the back of your legs. You can also use the seat of a chair here, resting your head or your hands on the seat of a chair. So in dragonfly pose, make sure that the toes are curled back. If you're experiencing super tight hamstrings, consider bringing a cushion underneath your knees. Take a little pressure off your knee joints. Stay in the delicious discomfort range, not overdoing it. If at any time you feel like your head could come down a little lower, you might explore bringing it down by moving the base of the bolster further away. Or turning the bolster on its side. If when you lower the head it's too intense, come back a little bit. If your right hand is free, come back to left nostril breathing, gently covering the right nostril and just breathing through the left nostril. And feel that area at the back of the legs where the muscles tie into the knee joint, the calf muscle, and the hamstring. At any time you'd like to come lower, consider the possibility. Keep the toes curled back. Check that the shoulders are relaxed inside dragon pose. We don't want to introduce any tension to the neck or shoulders. Keeping the upper body at ease. Just allowing this big hip opener and slow release in the low back. Let's stay for 5 more breaths. use your hands to pick you up at the end. Let the arms straighten you up until the head is over the shoulders. You can move your prop and gently lean back into your hands, bending the knees. Push the hips forward so they come off the blanket, and gently turn the head left and then right. All right. Come onto your back. And cross the right knee over the left knee. Now we've just been in a deep forward bend, so you might find this almost too much. Even though we're just lying down, my low back is responding even to the smallest arching in the low back. So we're going to change that. Uncross the knee and bring the knees together, feet apart. And we'll start with TP pose. Now, let's do some left nostril breathing here. Give the low back time to return from that deep forward fold. Release the breath. Notice those first few breaths with both nostrils. Now gently pick up the left knee and hold the left knee in towards the ribs. Extend the right leg out. Exhale the head to the left. Inhale the head neutral. Exhale the head right. Bring the head to neutral and then rotate the left foot 5 times in one direction and then reverse for 5. Drop the left foot to the floor, change legs. Pick up the right knee and hug the right knee towards the ribs. Extend the left leg. Gently turn the head left. Just notice if your low back is, I'm going to use the term cooling down. Inhale neutral, exhale the head to the right. Bring the head to neutral and then rotate the right foot. Five times in each direction. And then bring the right foot to the mat. Bend the left knee, both feet on the mat. Oh, that feels better. Cross the right knee over the left knee. Hands out 90 degrees. Let's do some floppy shin work here. So we're going to hit the right side of the right hip and the right side of the low back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and stop. Press that left foot down into your mat. You can even lift the hip off the ground if you like. Tilt to the left, bring the left hip down to the mat, and then roll to the left with the knees crossed so you get that deep lumbar twist, glute twist. And gently turn the head left in the same direction as the knees. Try to keep that right shoulder grounded if you can. Inhale the head to neutral and then exhale the head to the right. Let your attention focus on the right butt, the right glute, the right hip, the right low back, and invite that area to relax while you're in the midst of your twist. And just notice if there's any change in the felt experience of the twist. Slow your breath down. For the next 5 breaths, breathe slowly and deeply. Even if it's hard to breathe in the twist, breathe against the resistance of the twist. And notice the sensations that brings into the hips, the low back, the belly. Now, keep the twist, bring the head to neutral, and take 5 slow breaths with the left nostril. Release the breath technique. Gently roll onto your back. Keep the knees crossed for a moment. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee. So you just move the right knee a little bit back. You're in figure 4 now. So bring that ankle back over the knee, and then pick your figure 4 up. I'll turn a little bit so you can see. I'm in figure 4. Pick that figure 4 up and hold it in towards your ribs. So the left knee is going to push the right ankle, and hopefully your arms, if your left hand pulls on the right foot, right hand pulls on the knee, you squeeze that figure 4 in. So we get into the glute in a slightly different way than the cross-knee twist. Make sure the back of your neck stays long, so you're not straining your neck. If you need to build up some neck or support under the head, do so. And give this a nice strong squeeze so you really get into the piriformis and the glute here. This is a great way to relieve low back tension. Gently release, uncross, and relax both legs. Change the cross of the leg. So this time the left knee is over the right knee in floppy shin, arms out 90 degrees. Check in with your low back right now. Both your hips and your low back should be starting to recover from that dragonfly pose we did earlier. For 3, 2, and stop. Push down through the right foot. You have the option of lifting the hips and then roll onto your right hip and let the knees fall to the right so that we get that lumbar twist on the left side. Turn the head to the right. Can you relax the hips simply by bringing your attention into the left hip, the left low back, and inviting that area of the body to soften? And just notice what happens. Inhale the head to neutral. Keep the back of the neck long. And then turn the head to the left. Ten slow breaths in.
For those who want to try the 3-part breath, you can practice your 3-part breath here. It's a nice training to breathe deeply in a twist. And if you are managing the 3-part breath, you'll notice by the second or third inhale, you're getting a lot more sensation in the glute. Now for the next 5 breaths, use the left hand this time and the ring finger to block the right nostril. Breathing through the left nostril only. Releasing the technique, bring the head to neutral and just notice those first few breaths with both nostrils open. Bring the knees to neutral, hips to neutral, and relax the legs. And bend the knees, clasp the hands under the head. Let's take care of the neck and the upper back. Knees together, feet apart. Exhale, pick the head up and hold the head with the hands, so there's no strain in the neck. Keep the low back imprinting, pressing into the mat. Wrap the forearms around the skull and squeeze the skull. And as you squeeze the skull, lift the back of the skull up. Keep squeezing and lifting and breathing slowly. Gently lower the head down, roll to one side, and come up onto all fours. A little cat and cow here. Check in with your back and neck. And then you can use 1 or 2 blocks here, or just come straight back onto your heels into Vajrasana. So you can have the blocks stacked on top of each other. Or you could have one block just on its edge or back onto the heels. You want to be feeling stretch sensation in the top of your foot, your ankle, your shin, and also over the front of the kneecap into the quadriceps. If this is too much, you can also stand and grab hold of one foot and pull it back up behind you to stretch the quad. Let's take 5 breaths with left nostril. Release the right nostril, breathing through both nostrils. And then prepare for half frog pose with the option of elevating the thigh. So you can start by coming down onto your belly. So traditionally we'll bring the one knee out, let's say the left knee, at floor level. Some of you might like to elevate the left thigh and the left knee tonight, depending on the thickness of your bolster. You can use a folded blanket and just trial it out and just notice how does that feel with elevation as a variation of intensity. Come into crime scene pose with the elbows bent and the head resting on the ground. The back leg is in triple extension. The toes are pointing. The leg is straight, so you will feel potentially sensation in your neck, maybe in your shoulders, low back, hip flexor on the right side, if the left knee is out. And then you have that elevated or ground level hip opening. If at any time it gets too much for the neck, stack the hands and rest the forehead on the hands. If you'd like to try and bring the right arm back behind your back and rest it on your low back in such a way that it doesn't fall off and the shoulder, the right shoulder, is nice and relaxed.
it'll usually feel like a weight is resting on your low back. So the weight of the right arm, or the arm that's behind you, is helping the low back traction out. And then try the left arm back.